Hey, we talk about act as if. We talk about that rubbish of faking until you make it. Faking it until you make it. And I say, no, act as if. But the thing is, I was thinking the other day, there are things that stop us from acting as if and stop us getting those goals and dreams that we dream of and have in our mind's eye. And I wanted to explore and muse what stops you and how to get it unstopping you so you can have those dreams, have those goals and act as if you've got it already. And when you get it already, you'll be acting as you, just you. Have a listen after this.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, back with a longer podcast, but I don't know how long, because I've been thinking about this thing and I just sprang it on a piece of paper, as it were, like a mind map. And it's all about, we talk about how I hate faking it until you make it. I really do. It's in the title, faking. And if you're a fake, you fake. You can't fake it. You might be able to fake it in front of a few people. You get caught out. But also, you cannot fake yourself. There's one person you cannot fake. You know it. And if you know it, you'll be incongruent. You won't be aligned, which means other people will get it. Will get it that you're faking it because your non-verbal communications, not just body language, but the way you move and your voice doesn't quite go together, or the words don't quite come with the tonation, all that stuff. They get it at a subtle level. And they won't know why sometimes, but they just get that feeling. So what do we say? We say act as if. Act as if. It's the last step of the 5 keys to success. Act as if. Act as if with a psychology and a physiology of excellence. That gives you something to begin to think about. But what was going through my mind was, what stops us acting as if? Because I know it's so easy to say, oh, well, stop faking it, but just act as if. Just act as if. Take a psychology of excellence. Take a physiology of excellence. Now we know that means getting a good brain set, a positive mindset, and getting your body to act in a way that complements what you're trying to do. It's modeling, really, isn't it? Modeling the physiology of people who do the thing you want to do. And what must their mindset be? Now, that's so simple. Not. That's modeling. And to do it really seriously, you really have to dive deep, and we will do. But I just wanted to explore a little bit with you. Just have a conversation. Because it's so, as I say, so easy to say, well, don't fake it till you make it, just act as if. But what happens if we can't? Well, or we don't find it comfortable. And I think that's it. We don't even find that comfortable sometimes because we think we're faking it. That's just, it feels like we're faking it. Now, sometimes I think because it feels like we're faking it, there's an emotion there, obviously, and I'm not quite sure what emotion is there. That's for you to find out. Search your, when you think about acting as if and it doesn't feel, where is that feeling? What emotion's there if you could put a label on it? If you could put a label on it, what is that emotion? Even if you can't put a label on it, don't worry, because it's just an emotion. It's a feeling somewhere in your body. We can just identify that place in your body. Say, this is what it feels like. Oh, doesn't feel good. That's good enough for me. That's the label. This doesn't feel good. You can even give it a name. Oh, this is Fred. This is Martha. This is whoever. Just so you know that's a feeling. But something fires off that feeling, I think. Well, I that's what I believe, and that's what I think this is. There's a belief. Maybe I feel like a fake. Or maybe there's, as you think about that feeling, put your attention into that feeling, and you start to think about what belief do I have about this? Maybe there's that limiting belief of, well, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be able to do this type of thing or have this type of success or whatever. But just think, is that the type of belief that is just below the surface? Because it's clearing these type of beliefs which will allow you to act as if, which will allow you to just be you. Because acting as if is being you, the true you. But here's the thing. There might be something else below there, different belief. And I was thinking about what type of beliefs could be below this. So I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be able to have this or be able to do this. Or maybe there's a belief, it's okay for others but not me. Now, that seems like a belief. Well, it is a belief. It's okay for others, not me. But it's not quite at an identity level. There's me in there, but it's like an observation. You're observing others and you down there, like a meta position. Well, it's okay for them down there, but not him over there or her over there. So all you have to do to that is, because that's the whole point of this. I want to give you some things to muse about in your puzzle book, in your journal, in your thoughts, when you just say, well, I want to know what this belief is. Because when it's gone, it will not only change the way you can act as if and get your successes, it will change things in every different context. Because you'll be more confident. You'll be, anxiety will disappear. So what you say to yourself, if that's the one that starts to resonate with you, it's okay for others, but not for me. What you say is, put your attention into that feeling where you feel a bit of a fake, and it goes, well, it's okay for others, but not me because I'm, and fill in the blank. And you'll get a limiting belief. So it could well be because I'm stupid, or what else could it be? I'm not important. I don't deserve it. I'm not good enough. And that would make sense then, wouldn't it? Because, it's okay for others, but not me because I'm stupid and they're not. But it's got to be an I am or I'm not. So I am stupid or I'm not good enough. You can see how that supports this thing. And it all has a positive intention because your unconscious mind doesn't want you to get that embarrassment by doing something and getting embarrassed. And embarrassment hurts. And hurts, hurts, doesn't it? And your unconscious mind is stopping you doing that by giving you this limiting belief and this funny old feeling. But the thing is, if you were able to do that thing in safety and in confidence, not overconfidence, competence and confidence, and all the other skills that you have, positive emotions, positive beliefs, you would rock it and you would feel safer than anything. Because there's one thing about this, when you have a belief like, I don't deserve it, and that feeling, or I'm stupid or I'm not good enough, that doesn't feel good anyway. It doesn't feel safe. So there's that conflict going on. And we want to get rid of that conflict. Maybe, here's another one. I thought about this because there's more. I know there's more. Here's another quick one I just thought about. And it's that old, say that again, Cluffy, come on. It's that old imposter syndrome coming through. I'll get found out. Now again, it's an observation. Because when you say, I'll get found out, you tend to, I guess, see other people looking at you and you over there, because you tend to see it dissociated or associated by people looking at you and going, well, hey, they're looking at me, down at me. I just know they're looking down at me and they think I shouldn't be here. But then, same thing. Go to that feeling and say to yourself, if it's, I'll get found out because I'm, and finish the sentence again. These are all ways of getting back to that one core limiting belief. The limiting belief that's trying to protect you, but quite honestly, is, I nearly swore then, but it's just, it's mucking up your life. That's a better way of putting it. And we want to stop that because you deserve more. And this is this thing on this personal development adventure that you and I are both on. When we act as if we are going to find something, we will find it. If we act as if this is how we do it, because that's how other people do it, we'll suddenly be able to access all the skills inside us to be that person and to learn and grow. But the other thing is, you see, what else? So we got those limiting beliefs, and there'll probably be more. We might go through that another time, but just think of those what belief do I have that makes this emotion so? That's another one. bit more complicated in its words. Well, it's not really complicated, just a bit weird wording, isn't it? But hey, let's just have another think, because I had more notes about this. Really, Cluffy? Yeah, I got loads of the bloody notes. Anyway, here's a thought. It's what I mused to myself. What stops you from acting as if? Well, it feels too false. It's too clunky. I can't, it's not smooth. I'm not acting as if, and I'm just being that wonderful person I see over there who does it. And you see, sometimes that chunk is just too big a step. So we need to just do what's the smallest steps I can start. Because this is a thing you have to, I guess, learn to do. But once you learn it, it's very quickly, or a very quick process of learning. Because all you're doing is, okay, what's the first thing I would need to feel as if I was act as if? What's the first thing I need to believe about myself? What belief would support me? That's the first thing maybe. What's the belief that would support me making this change to act as if? Well, maybe it's something like, well, I can do this. I can do this. I've done other stuff before. Didn't realize it was maybe acting as if because I was just so into it. Stuff that you've learned that you didn't know anything about at the time. And then you began to learn about it and experience it and you thought, this is awesome. And you just did it. And you looked at other people and you followed their guides, as it were. You followed the way they held themselves. And it's just an unconscious process. But I think sometimes if we try to do it all in one go, it's like feeling down and you want to feel really happy. That's too big a chunk. But if you go from feeling down to, well, I'm just going to feel a little bit, yeah. And then a little bit, yeah, to a little bit, well, actually feel quite neutral. And then from neutral, you can go to, I'm feeling not bad. And then from not bad to, yeah, I'm awesome. So it's just finding that small step. So think about that one little belief that would really support you in getting this goal. What would be the one thing that you could do? One small step to do. Maybe it's the way you dress. Maybe it's the way you think about things. Maybe it's that positive mental attitude, but not the one which is right out there. But, I can do this, and this is the first step. I'm going to go and speak to somebody. I'm going to do something. What is the small step? Because sometimes when we have this big chunk, this hell of a jump, we get overwhelmed. And it's because it's clunky. And then we get back to those old beliefs. Well, obviously I don't deserve this. It's okay for others. I just can't do this. It's too difficult. It's too hard. And reconfirming, well, I'm stupid or things like that, which it doesn't. It just means we didn't use we try to jump to the end of the process and not the beginning. And that's like jumping to the end of a book and saying, I don't understand this. Well, yeah, because the books teach you chapter by chapter, verse by verse, or whatever it is, paragraph by paragraph. And you get there. That's the whole point of it. So treat this like a book, turning a page at a time, maybe. Hell of a metaphor there, Cluffy. But yeah, just what would be the first page? The first small step. As long as I hold that picture in mind, where I want to go, that's the main thing, because you've got to have a goal. And that's the problem. That's maybe the other problem, because that was my other note just underneath this. Maybe you have an unclear goal. I want to act as if, but I don't know. I just want to be happy. I want to be more confident. And when you think about that, so general, isn't it? So general. Being happier, a bit more happy, a bit more confident. In what? Where? With who? When? What context? And that's the whole point of that. Because if you break that down into specificity, that's that word we love that word, specificity, and it's a bit like the well-formed outcome, and we've talked about that, and it's on the Hypnosis website, or it's on paulcloughonline.com/podcast, which is where you get 50 plus NLP and hypnosis processes. And one of them is a well-formed outcome. I think it's a hypnosis track. I'm not sure if I've done two different ones there. But the first thing on a well-formed outcome is Know what you want. It's the same as the first key to the 5 keys to success. Know your goal, know your outcome, know where you're going. What's the goal? It's an outcome in mind. It's a direction. So, again, to find that small step, you may have to really define your goal and get specific. So what is my goal? What do I want? Where do I want it? With whom do I want it? Because there'll be some people you don't want to have that goal with. And there'll be others who you do. When do you want it? Be specific. I may not be able to have it tomorrow, and some goals you can, but I certainly want to have achieved that goal in the next 4 months. That gives you a time frame to measure by, to work out which those steps are, or where those steps are, and what those steps are. And also just identifying the context, because you might want to be more confident in one particular aspect of your career, or maybe a bit more confidence in a partnership, a relationship. But at work, I'm really confident. But talking to people, maybe I'm not. Which context did you want that? Well, I want to be able to talk to people. Now we get more specific. Who? Where? What's the subject? From there, you can then start to work out exactly what the first step would be. Then you've got the goal in mind. Now we've got a small step. Now we can start acting as if. Who do we know that does this? How do they hold themselves, walk, talk? How charismatic are they? What do they do? We've got it. So we're just modeling them, but we need something to model on and have a direction to go. Now, the other thing, I've got loads here. Another thing could well be that you just haven't thought it through, and it's a bit like that specificity. Yeah, I sort of understand where I want to go, what I want to do, with who, things like that. It's sort of well formed, but it just doesn't feel right. Or it feels a bit blank. It feels a little bit, ugh. Now, there's a reason for that, and it's because we don't understand the value of it. The value, the importance of it. Because we have a triangle of identity first at the top of that triangle, who you really are. And just below that is your beliefs and values. They're the things that make the rest of everything tick, which is how you learn and find all those skills, and how you do and act and behave with those skills and do it anywhere in the environment. But that second one down is beliefs and values. Well, we talked about beliefs. Here's the value. How important is this? What will it mean to get this goal? Not the first step now. We're looking at the outcome. Because I want to know, sometimes we have a goal. We think we have a goal, but it's really other people's goals for us. They have things that, this is what you should be doing. Don't waste your time on that. Do this. This is what everyone does. And the pressure you get from social media about this is what is the thing that's happening, and this is what you got to do, and this is how you got to be. Well, actually, instead of getting drawn into that and being pulled along the way and then suddenly getting that overwhelm and actually doing the stuff that you're not really wanting to do, that's when you get found out. And you get found out by yourself first. But the thing is, how do you do that? Well, just as I said, you got 2 different ways of asking the same question. You need your puzzle book. I call it a puzzle book. Is that immature? Maybe just a thought book. My ideas book. My musing book. Whatever you want to call it. Fred, Joan, whoever. Remember, we used to have Jenny Journal, bless her. And you write what you want, okay? Because you still got to have that specificity in its context. So this is what I want, and this is the context in which I want it. It's what I want to achieve. So you've got your goal, your aim in mind. And then you say to yourself, and you write it down, why is this important to me? Or this is important to me because. And you get an answer. And once you get that answer, you look at that answer and you go, why is that answer important to me? That answer is important to me because it will mean this, that, or. And you get a second answer based on the first. And guess what? We always do it 3 times. You look at that second answer and you go, why is that important to me? Well, that's important to me because. And so you got 3 times removed. Now, the third one is normally the one that's just below the surface. It's like an unconscious one you've just teased out. Now, it could well be that you look at that and you go, do you know what? That's not that important. I'm following a trend. I don't want to do that. That's not me. I don't know where I got that from. Or you find that they all seem positive apart from one. I'm going to give you a type of example. It's a very bad example, but it'll do my best. My goal is to earn X amount of money per year. Okay, why is that important to me? That's important to me because if I'm earning that much money a year, I'll be able to have a house and look after my family. Okay, cool. Nice reason. Nice value. Okay, so why is it important to me to have a house so I can look after my family? Well, that's important because it means that we'll be such a wonderful of a relationship with everyone in that family. We'll be so content. Oh, that's a nice one, isn't it? We'll be content. Why is that Why is having that lovely unit and we're all relating and content, why is that important to me? Well, it's so important to me because I don't want the family life that I've come from, which was so disruptive. Now, that's where you start looking, because that is not a go-to. It's you're coming away from. One is you're going towards contentment, and then because I want to go away from that dysfunctional life that I used to have. Well, when we deal with that thought in mind about the dysfunctional life, those values will change. Guarantee it. Don't get many Cluffy guarantees, but I've seen it so many times. When you sort that out, what belief to have about that? Because sometimes it's, money's the root of evil, because that's what happened before. People had money and they just made it horrible. So I don't want to be there with that, even though we thought it was contentment. Once we get rid of that and get a true value of it, then you will really go for it. Another way of doing it, which is, as I said, there's two ways of doing the same thing. You could say to me, okay, this goal in mind, this aim, specifically, what context, what will it mean to me when I get it? And you write out the answer. And you go, well, when I get that, what will that mean to me? And you write out the answer. So you got the second answer. And then you go, what will that mean to me? And you write the answer. And you look at each one of those. First of all, make sure they're all positive, because if there's a negative there, you might want to do some work on that. Look to the beliefs and the emotions, and maybe there's something in the past that you just need to get rid of. Learn by it, because once you've learned by it and from it, it will disappear. But you look at that and you go, actually, I didn't realize how much it means to me. I thought I was just following a trend, but when I get there, it is going to mean this, and it's going to be so awesome. Now I know what it will mean to me. And now I know what it will mean to me. I'm going to really get into this well-formed outcome, because I'm going to make sure I know exactly what, where, with whom, when, what skills I've got. Do I know anybody who's done it before? Have I done anything like this before? What help can I get? Now I know exactly everything about this in its context. I can work out the first step by holding this wonderful goal in mind, and I can start formulating those steps all the way through. And what belief will I have that will support me through this? And it'll all just come together. Or it means diddly squat. When you get to the end, you go, do you know what? It doesn't mean anything. But when you do that, then you can throw that goal away. If it means diddly squat to you, throw it away and find a goal that is really meaningful to you. That's when you find your passion. Maybe your ultimate vision will become apparent to you more, or become more clearer. Now, these are only a few of the notes, and I'm going to dive into this even more, I think. But I thought, and this is what came to me. These all, we think of there's a lot in here, Cluffy. Well, go through it again. But here's the thing. As you're musing this, whether your puzzle book, your idea book, your whatever book, musing book, after musing all of this, I thought of something that Tim Ferriss said. And it's a great question. And I love questions. You just say to yourself, because sometimes it's a little bit complicated, or you think it's a bit complicated. Even when you've done all this, so you've looked at your beliefs. How do you change those beliefs, by the way? Just come up with some alternative examples, opposite examples, when you have been good enough. When you haven't been stupid. You've done something and it worked out really well, and you were pretty good at it. Things that, you didn't get found out because you were not an imposter. It didn't feel fake because you were real. You did something that you really did deserve and you were able to do. You find some counterexamples, then you can start doing that other bit, getting that clear goal. But I thought, here's the thing, Tim Ferriss, wonderful question. Even if it's a little bit unclear still, just before you go through any of those steps, you just ask, what if this was easy? If this was easy, what belief would I have? What emotion would I have to get this goal? That goal. It's as simple as that. If this was easy, what belief would I have that would support me? And what emotion would I have to support me? You might even say, and what skills have I got? If this was easy, what skills have I got already? If this was easy, how could I see this goal? How would that goal look? If this was easy, what would that first step be? If this was easy, how specifically do I want this goal? If this was easy, how can I just let go of this limiting belief? What a great question, isn't it? If this was easy. Because what got me was when I first did this, and I thought, what a silly question. And I looked at something and said, if this was easy, what would I do first? If this was easy. And that first step just came, well, if it was really easy, you'd do this and then oh no, I found the steps. Because we put obstacles in our way. But if it was easy and safe, you can add that. If this was easy and safe, what would my first step be? What would my belief be? What would my emotion be? What would my skill I'd use? What is the first step? What an awesome question. Hail Tim Ferriss. Oh, that's such an awesome question. I love it to bits. Love it to bits. There you go. If you're anxious about things and you want a bit more confidence in it, hey, you've always got that supreme inner confidence program that I push so wholeheartedly because I know it'll make a difference to your life if you just have a look at it at paulcloughonline.com. Just look there, scroll down a little bit and you'll find, right, I think it's at the bottom, Supreme Inner Confidence. Or I think you just put paulcloughonline.com/confidence. I think so. Have a look. If you've signed up to those hypnosis tracks, at the email you get and the roughly a monthly newsletter you get, there's a discount code. Brings it to make it affordable to everyone. Because I know you're worth it. So please do that. I hope this little musing has been of interest and got you to think, I want this goal. And how would I act to get it? How would I act if I'd already got it? Act as if I've already got it. Feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The wish fulfilled is the goal having been achieved. You do all of that and things will start changing beyond your wildest dreams. I know they will. Because it just happens that way. But you have to have the balls, or you said something else, but you have to have those great kahunas just to do it. And when you find out you start doing it, you just think, hey, that wasn't so big. That wasn't so hard. In fact, this is quite enjoyable because I'm seeing my way. I'm getting there. What a wonderful adventure. What an expedition. Thanks, Cluffy, you'll say. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed this. Send me an email, please. feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com with your thoughts on this, any critique, anything that you want. Well, if you have an issue that you want to act as if to get through, or if you have an issue that you just want some help with, please email me. The more you do, the more I can really dive into subjects and find the processes that will allow you to be who you want to be, or who you're destined to be, who you can be, and more. Because the whole thing is, whatever you think you are, you're more than that. And even when you get to where you really want to be, you're even more than that. So send me that email, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Sign up for the hypnosis tracks, paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Get that huge discount. Anyway, have more fun than you can stand. And we'll dive deeper in this about how to act as if, maybe how the modeling process works. But this is a great step to start at. Get that musing book, that puzzle book, that ideas book, whatever it is. And just go for it. Because I know you can. I know you will. Because you can, won't you? That's right. Okay, my friend, it's time to fly.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.